opinion before this court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Please state and spell both your first and last name.
My name is Sarah Rollins, spelled Sarahrollins.
All right. If any of you have a problem hearing her, raise your hand. I just asked if you do have a problem. Can you just lean into the microphone when you speak, okay? Do you have a soft voice?
Is that better?
Yes, that's better. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
May I inquire on?
Yes, please.
Hi, Miss Rollins.
Good morning.
Do you know Amie Harwick?
I do.
And how long have you known her?
If she were alive now, it would be 13 years.
And how did you two meet?
We met working at an event.
And doing what?
We were serving ice cream sandwiches.
Now, were you two close in your almost 10-year relationship, I would say?
Yes.
Did you celebrate special occasions together?
Yes.
Birthdays, things like that?
Yes.
Did you ever travel together?
Yes.
How often would you say you saw each other over the course of your friendship?
Mostly monthly,
Okay.
if I had to guess.
What about in the year leading up to her passing? How often would you say you saw each other that year?
Mostly monthly until that month, definitely.
Despite seeing each other monthly, would you say you communicated pretty regularly?
Yes.
Was that through phone calls or text messages?
Yes.
In the time that you've known Amie, did you ever see her smoke any tobacco products?
No.
Ingest any sort of nicotine products like vaping?
No.
Now I want to turn your attention to February 10th of 2020. Did you see Amie that day?
Yes.
And where did you guys see each other?
We went to her home and we went on a walk or hike around her home, and then we went to dinner nearby.
Now, did you go to dinner or do a walk first?
We first did the walk.
Now, what did you do on this walk?
We caught up, just like friends would, talked about things that were going on in our lives.
How long would you say that walk lasted prior to going to dinner together?
Probably 2 hours at least.
And how long was dinner?
It seemed to be long.
Now, during your time together on February 10th, did you and Amie speak about something called the Ex-Biz Awards?
Yes.
Had you not talked about the Ex-Biz Awards prior to your meeting on February 10th?
She had mentioned that she had ran in to her ex at that award show. But it had occurred, right before.
Now, did she talk to you about the Ex-Biz Awards during your walk?
I don't recall it so much during the walk as I do during dinner.
So during dinner, you guys talked about the Ex-Biz Awards?
Yes.
What did she talk about took place at the Ex-Biz Awards?
She told me how she had ran into her ex, a very old ex of hers, and that he kind of went a little crazy and was triggered when he saw her and got into fetal position on the ground and was crying and reciting texts that they had had from a long time before.
When she was talking to you about this interaction with an ex-boyfriend, she indicated to you that he was crying?
Yes.
You used the word he'd gone crazy. Did she say those words to you?
I don't recall her exact wording of it at this moment.
But it was something to that effect?
That's what was expressed to me.
She talked to you about him getting into, did you say a fetal position?
Yes.
Did she at any point talk to you about the tone of his voice when she had her interaction with him?
I don't know about the tone of his voice, except for that when she was expressing it to me, it seemed just kind of chaotic. That's just how I imagined it.
What was her demeanor like when she was talking to you about this interaction with her ex at the Ex-Biz Awards?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Sure. What was Amy's demeanor when she was talking to you about her interaction with her ex-boyfriend at the Ex-Biz Awards?
She's very articulate, very well-spoken, very intelligent, and obviously she has a lot of knowledge in the mental health world.
But did she appear upset?
She seemed very stressed by it to me.
Did she express to you how that interaction with her ex-boyfriend at that award show made her feel?
She was scared. I know she was scared.
And how do you know that she was scared?
She'd spoken about things that he had previously done to her.
Objection. Non-responsive.
And without going into specifics, Ms. Rollins, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Motion to strike.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Now, without going into specifics about the past, did she express to you why she was, or how she was scared?
She was scared of what he might do to her, to harm her, or even her clients.
Objection. Speculation. Non-responsive.
Well, clear that up first of all before I rule on that.
I'm sorry?
Clear that up first of all before I rule on it. I mean,
Sure,
is that
absolutely.
something she told you, or go ahead?
Sure. Did Amie tell you that she was scared?
Yes.
You said something to the effect of she was afraid that he would harm her or her clients. Did she express that to you specifically?
Yes.
All right, overruled.
Now, when she told you that she feared harm to herself, did she indicate that she was scared of her personal safety?
Objection leading.
It's the same.
In light of the 402 ruling, Your Honor, I was
Trying to pinpoint.
correct.
All right. Why don't you try to re-ask it?
Sure. Did she indicate any sort of concern about her personal safety?
Yes.
And did she talk about any sort of measures she may take as a result of her fear for her personal safety?
I don't recall any measures that she said she would take at that point. But she did tell me about previous measures that she had tried to take.
Now, did you see each other again after having dinner and going on that walk on February 10th?
Yes.
And when did you see each other again?
Shortly after, on Valentine's Day.
Did you have plans with Amie?
Yes, she arranged plans for us to celebrate a Galentine's that evening.
And what did you guys decide to do?
We went to a burlesque show hosted and produced by one of her friends.
Where was that burlesque show?
That was at the Globe Theater in Los Angeles.
And do you know about what time you arrived at the Globe Theater?
I can't recall off of the top of my head right now.
Okay. Would 8 p.m. sound about right?
Yes.
And who else did you meet with at the Globe Theater?
It was Amie and her friend Rebecca.
Had you met Rebecca prior to that day?
That was my first time meeting her.
Were they already there when you arrived?
Yes,
Did you take any pictures while you were at the Globe Theater?
we did.
Handle it. I'm going to show you a photograph that was previously marked. As People's 12A. Do you recognize this photograph, Ms. Rollins?
Yes.
Could you please identify who's in the photograph?
Amy's on the left in the light pink dress and the leather jacket. I'm sorry.
It's okay, take your time. Just put your hand over
I know her as Miss Tosh, to the right of Amy, who is a producer for the event. And that's me with dark hair. And then to the right of me is Rebecca, who I had met that night.
And so the record reflects you were identifying individuals from the photograph as I was pointing to them with my finger, is that correct?
Yes.
And this is a photograph that you had taken at the Globe Theater when you met with Amie and company.
Yes, that's a photo that we took together.
Now, did you guys have any plans about your outfits for the evening?
We didn't discuss anything, but it was Valentine's Day. So
Now, do you recall any accessories that Amie was wearing that evening?
it looks like she has maybe 2 rosaries on.
I'm zooming into the photograph of 12A and I'm pointing to some necklaces that Amie is wearing. Are those necklaces that you recall her wearing on that day, those 2 rosaries?
I didn't notice them that evening, but I can see that she's wearing them.
Now, do you recall about what time you left the Globe Theater after the burlesque show?
I don't recall at this exact moment.
It was 9:15-ish, sound about right?
Yes,
Did you go anywhere else after the burlesque show?
we did.
And where did you guys go?
We went to Rebecca's place of work nearby, and then we also went to the Nomad Hotel to have dinner, or appetizers, I guess.
And while you were at the Nomad, did you take any photos there?
We did.
Now, at this time, Your Honor, the people are holding a photograph depicting Amie Harwick and the witness date Avenue Marcus Peoples 52.
Yes, Mark.
I'm showing you what's been marked as Peoples 52. Do you recognize that photograph?
I do.
Can you identify who's in the photograph?
Amy on the left, and myself on the right.
And this is a photograph that you took with Amie while at the Nomad that evening?
We took it together, yes.
Now, following your appetizers and hanging out at the Nomad, do you know about what time you left?
I'm sorry, I don't recall the exact time right now.
Now, do you know about, let's say, around midnight? Does that sound about right?
I think so.
Do you know where you went after the Nomad?
I went to my cousin's house in Echo Park. That's where I'd left my car, and then I had Ubered to the Globe, so I went to go pick up my car from my cousin's house.
So from the Nomad Theater, you took an Uber to Echo Park,
Yes.
where your car was parked,
Yes.
and then you drove home.
Yes.
About how long would you say it took you to get from Echo Park to your house?
I don't recall right now. Probably 35 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
But once I was driving in my car.
Did you and Amie communicate in any way after you parted ways at the Nomad?
No.
Did you receive any communication from her that evening?
Yeah, I checked my phone and I had one text message from Amie. That was once I got home, so 45 minutes later when it was received or so.
This I'm holding 2 pages of text messages. May that be marked collectively as people's 53A and B?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been marked as 53A. Do you recognize these series of text messages?
I do.
And how do you recognize these text messages?
The blue ones, or all of the ones with the timestamp, are coming from my phone. I'm texting Amie. I have 80 unread texts, and she sent me a message at 1:02 a.m. asking, or telling me, send me the pics on the green couch.
So let me just break it down a little bit here. You talked about a text message in blue that I'm pointing to with my pen. Is that a text message that you sent to Amie?
Yes.
Now, there are text messages that have white writing with no kind of a blackish background. Are those text messages from Amie to you?
Yes.
I'm pointing to one text message where it says, send me the pics on the green couch, marked at 1:02 a.m. Is that a text message that you received on February 15th after your Valentine's Day gathering at the Nomad from Amie?
Yes.
And I'm pointing to a photograph that we looked at earlier. Is this your response to Amie?
Yes.
And what time did you respond to her text message?
I started sending her photos at 2:05 a.m.
Now I'm showing you what's been marked as people's 53B, which appears to be just a zoomed in version of those text messages. Is that correct?
Yes.
So again, you receive a text message from Amie at 1:02 and you respond with a photograph at 2:05.
Yes.
When was the last time you spoke to Amie?
Verbally?
Yes. Or in any way, in any form.
Oh, it seems like at 1:02 a.m. was the last time she contacted me.
So is this the last communication that you received from Amie? Was at 1:02 a.m. on February 15th?
Yes.
Thank you, nothing further.
Cross-examination.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Rollins.
Good morning.
Detectives interviewed you on February 16th, 2020. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And Robert Koshland was present with you during the interview.
He was.
And during that interview, both you and Mr. Koshland asked the detectives whether they had gotten the security camera footage from Ms. Harwick's house. Do you remember that?
I think so.
And Mr. Koshland specifically said to do it fast.
I don't remember that part.
You testified on direct that you and Miss Harwick went on a at least 2-hour walk on February 10th, 2020.
Yes.
Was that just a walk around the neighborhood near her house or on Beechwood Canyon?
It was around a lake that was by her house. I don't remember what it's called, but I have photos from that as well.
The Hollywood Reservoir, right?
I believe so.
It has like a dam on one side, and you can see the Hollywood sign in the hills.
I believe so.
So Miss Harwick was an athletic person, right?
She was physically fit.
She went on runs.
I don't know what her routine was.
She had a background in dance.
Yes.
And, like you said, she was physically fit. She worked out and stayed in good shape.
She appeared to be in good shape.
How many times had you been to her house at 2086 Mountain Street, do you think?
Was that her last address where she was living?
Yes.
Probably only a handful of times.
Had you been out to the balcony that was next to her bedroom?
When she gave me a tour, yes.
Okay. I have in my hand what I'd like to be marked as defense next in order.
You would double M.
Sorry, M?
Double M, yes, and
Okay.
Is that photo?
Yes. It's what appears to be a photo of Miss Harwick. May I approach?
Yes.
Ms. Rollins, is this a picture of Miss Harwick on the railing on her balcony?
Objection, foundation.
is that a picture of your objection to what foundation in terms of the railing?
This is the date of the photograph and whether she has personal knowledge as to when that photo was taken.
Wow, did you assign a date to it?
No.
No, I didn't think you did.
You may answer.
I don't know what the railing looked like exactly.
Does this look like a picture of Miss Harwick on her balcony?
It's definitely a photo of Amie on some sort of fence.
Okay. And you'd been out to the balcony, you said, when she gave you a tour?
Yes.
But you're not sure whether this is a photo of her on the balcony?
I don't know.
Now, at the time of the interview with detectives on the 16th of February, you indicated that Mr. Caution was there the whole time, right?
Right.
And while you were doing this interview with the detectives, there were people gathering at Mr. Caution's house.
Is that a question?
Yes.
What was the question?
Isn't it true that there were people gathering at Mr. Caution's house while you were having the interview with detectives?
I believe he does say that in our interview. Yes.
Do you have a recollection that people were gathering at Mr. Caution's house at the time that you were having this interview with detectives?
Objection, speculation.
Do you, no, he asked, do you have any recollection of people, independent recollection, while you were being interviewed, that people were gathering at the house?
I understand your question. I don't completely remember.
Okay.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at a transcript of the interview?
Yes.
Okay. If I may just have one brief moment.
Yes.
Actually, I'll move on. One of the reasons, so at the time of the interview, you and Mr. Caution were receiving lots of messages about Miss Harwick's passing, right?
I believe that he mentions that there were he was receiving messages.
Were you receiving messages about Miss Harwick's death?
Not that I recall.
Were you and Mr. Caution concerned about how her story would be told in the media?
I'm not sure.
Do you recall telling the detectives that you hoped that her story would be able to be controlled?
I don't recall saying that.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at a transcript of the interview?
Yes.
All right, this is page 12 of the second transcript, transcript number 2. So if you could please read from line 19 to 28 of page 12 of transcript 2.
Read it to yourself if you would.
Yeah, read it to yourself, not aloud.
I'm sorry, I wasn't done.
Did that refresh
finished.
your recollection?
A bit.
And isn't it true that during the interview with detectives you expressed that that you had concerns about how her story would be told by the media?
What I just read, none of that was coming from me. I think my abbreviation is the letter S.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at the key on the transcript?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
Showing the cover page of the transcript, 2 of 2.
Oh, thank you.
So if you could just look right there at the legend and then look up when you're done.
Okay.
And do you want to look back at page 12 again?
Yes.
Okay, so if you could please reread lines 19 to 28.
Okay, yes.
And have you reread them?
I understand, yes.
Okay. So isn't it true that you expressed concern to the detectives about how the media would tell her story?
Yes.
And that you expressed a desire that you hoped it would be able to be controlled?
I hope that she's portrayed as the woman that she is. And not a victim who was naive. And, you know, that's what I meant by that.
Okay. Objection as to narrative at this point.
No rule.
Sorry, one moment. Prior to your testimony today, did you speak with Mr. Avila or Ms. Mariano about your testimony today? Recent to today.
Catherine, is that your last name?
Yes.
Yes.
And did you speak about the facts of the case?
I went over my interview with the detectives via audio and transcript, and then also the preliminary trial transcript only.
My question was whether you spoke with Ms. Mariano about the facts of this case.
I asked her what Mr. Pursehouse could be facing.
And that was the only discussion about the facts of this case. Is that your testimony?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, nothing further.
Amy, right?
One moment. No redirect, Your Honor. Thank you.
Right, now you may step down, thank you.